What's up, guys? Live on YouTube. Let's throw up the screen. Boom. What's up? What up? What up? What's up, Lexi? Guys, yesterday was one of those days. If you guys are in my personal Discord, I broke down yesterday and everything along those lines. But we're going to go over it again because it was a beautiful day. Textbooks day. Even though we took losses, textbook day. What's up, Serious Joker? We'll wait for a couple people to get in here, then we'll kind of just start rambling over some things again. We did take a trade on UK 100 and DAX. A lot of people actually still capitalized, so I really can't be mad. A lot of guys still made money. Even some of my students still made some money. I just happened to get taken out a little bit premature. It is what it is. But again, it just goes back to the fact that, again, I was correct as far as my directional bias, but we were just a little bit early. And again, a lot of times you can't really tell when you're early until it's, price plays out. But again, going back to DAX, again, you guys know we took these buys yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We are overextended. We are oversold. So I looked at the lower time frames to look for some type of structural shift. We saw the 15-minute shift higher. We had a pullback. Can't hear me? Oh, no. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. One, two. Better? No? Can you guys hear me? I am live on YouTube. Sorry for that was loud. I wonder why people can't hear me. I hate that. Hate that. Nice and clear. Okay, good to know, Edward. Lux, you can hear me? Good. Has been like that for the last couple sessions. Has been a Discord problem. Damn. Yeah, Discords. Hold on. I'll join back. Hello, better? Hopefully better. May not be. Alright, guys. That sucks. A lot of you guys can't hear me. I hate that. That's a YouTube live for anyone who cannot hear me right now. Well, obviously you can't hear me saying this, but that being said, we're going to go into the breakdown. Again, yesterday we did take some buys. What I was saying is DAX ended up shifting higher. We had a pullback on the 15-minute, and we looked to the 5-minute to get overall confirmation. We saw price change character here, had a nice little pullback, had another break of structure. And what I did do is I entered at the re-break of these highs. We saw price pull back into the equilibrium. Damn, why is Discord so fucked? What's up, crew? I hate that shit. Like, hate it. One, two. Wow. But again, like I said, ended up taking these buys. We got taken out prematurely. Price ended up staying valid. We can't see and we can't hear you. What the fuck is this shit on about, bruh? Shit's actually annoying, man. Okay, it's just some people. It's some people. Either way, again, we ended up taking these buys. Honestly, there was one thing, and if you guys are in Discord or in my Discord, I did say that I could have entered just based on the amount of confluences at the 50%, but the reason I didn't is because this leg was created before London Open. We had pushed higher at this London Open. Obviously, we did come down, still stay valid within this leg. So even if we did enter at these highs and had stops here, it would have still been valid. It's just a very big stop loss. I don't like having that big of a stop loss. Granted, again, like it would have still worked, but I could have also entered at the 50%, stops beneath the lows. We would have won, but again, it is what it is. You can't do much about it. UK 100, again, same thing. But in this case, we saw the break happen during London. So in this case, being that we saw that breakout during London, I did enter at the 50%, where again, in this case, I can't really do much about it. We got taken out prematurely. Price came down, took some more liquidity, and then played out with my overall bias. Okay, a lot of people still ate, so I can't complain. But I was genuinely surprised that price came down after taking Tokyo lows. We already had taken Tokyo lows. We came down to take more liquidity, which is very shocking. But again, price is going to do what it wants to do. Okay, granted, again, still not a bad day, even though we took those losses. And now we can go into today. So again, we know that yesterday was bullish. We had the pullback. We had a continuation. And now it looks like we're pulling back. So I'm still overall going to look for buys. And the reason I'm going to look for buys is because, again, our target from an hourly standpoint is this equilibrium, potentially even higher. And we have not hit that yet. So being that we're still internally bullish, we know that we have room to go higher. I'm going to look for some buys. As you can see, price has already facilitated the pullback into equilibrium. What am I now waiting for? Truly, I'd like to see price either start trending bullish. I'd honestly prefer to see it break these highs here in that internal structure, where we break these highs, can look for a pullback, and then can look to continue price back up from the equilibrium. DAX, on the other hand, same thing. Again, the hourly time frame, we're still very sold off. We have not hit equilibrium. If we drop our fib, we can see that. And this is our target. So we still see that we're bullish from the 15-minute standpoint. Higher high, higher low, new higher high. So that being said, I can drop my fib from the low to the high to see that we have completed a pullback. And now, looking at the 5-minute, we have now broke a pretty nice area of structure. So I would probably end up entering at the rebreak of these highs, since we're already kind of pulling back into equilibrium. I'll probably most likely re-enter at a rebreak of these highs, and my stop will be at the low of whatever price does end up stopping and flipping higher. Okay, again, I do think this is a solid trade. We'll at least get to 1 to 1, even 1 to 2, before we hit the equilibrium of this 1 hour bearish leg. Okay, honestly, today looks better than yesterday. Yesterday was phenomenal looking. Today's just even better, truly. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can get into. As far as NASDAQ, we did end up taking sells yesterday, I believe. Where was it? Was it in here? Yeah, we took some sells within here. We did end up taking a loss for price to then come down right after the fact. Okay, it came down into our original TPs. It is what it is. We got barely taken out. Again, yesterday was just one of those days. I can't be mad about it. All directional biases played out. We did end up going higher later on, and now we're looking at today. So with today, one thing I'm noticing is we are starting to see some bottom wicks here. We're seeing some reactions where price could potentially go higher. I'm not really liking the day too much because, again, like we are still bearish within this leg here. The hourly looks like it can flip higher, but nonetheless, we are still bearish within that leg. So ultimately, if we do continue to see some bearish price action where the 1 minute starts breaking like these lows here, we could look for some type of break and pullback. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, let's get in here. I'm trying to figure. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Yeah, so I really want to see it break this low, then we can look for a pullback and continuation. I truly think we can see it unless price does rip higher, which again, it could be just based off the higher time frame. Bias, this previous hourly candle was pretty strong for buys, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean buys are going to take place. Okay, see what happens though. Nonetheless, DAX is looking good. I think we'll end up getting entry on DAX, but again, I do need to see that pullback deep, not deep, but at least into the equilibrium. We'll take a break of the highs. I'm hoping price doesn't do the same thing as it did to us yesterday, where we break highs, come back down for a deeper pullback and go higher. If that's the case, I am willing to take that loss. The reason I'm willing to take that loss is because it's ultimately just building data behind where my stop loss should be. Granted, this is where, like, no matter what, if price pulls back here and breaks higher, this is my valid stop beneath these new lows. But if price continues to kind of play with us where we come down, break higher, come down deeper, and then continue with our overall bias, that's just information that tells me, even in some cases where my stop needs to be bigger, that's fine. That's a massive stop though. 200 points, that's fucking insane. But at the end of the day, if that's something we have to do, that's something we have to do if price is going to continue to react the way it's been reacting. Okay. But nonetheless, I really, really like this trade. I really do. I think once we get to break these highs, I'll be good to shoot as long as we get that pullback. Let's make sure things are correct here. As long as we get that pullback into equilibrium. So We'll see what happens. But again, we also have imbalance sitting down here just like yesterday, where this could also be taken. So this is where I'm just hoping price doesn't, fuck us over. We could enter at the 50% if price like does not hit it before London Open, but granted, I do think we will hit it within the next 6 minutes. And even then, like I said yesterday, we could have entered that 50%, truly. But again, like there is still risk at play because price could open up during London, fall off, and then go higher. And then again, like we take that unnecessary loss, and this is why the confirmation can be very important and very vital to making sure that price is one pulling back and then continuing with that overall bullish bias. But everything aligns. I think we're solid. 5 minutes looking good, 15-minute looking good, hourly looking good. I think we're good. Unless price, again, on the 15-minute does want to come deeper within that pullback, which could be the case, but nonetheless, we are now starting to show changes of character within the 5-minute. Looks solid. Yeah, DAX looks better as of right now for buys because, again, like I really want to see a break this high first. But again, if we come and break this high during London Open, have a pullback, I will enter on that pullback to continue prices higher. But again, also some risk at play. But nonetheless, like I'm going to follow my system. I will be going for 1 to 2 on DAX. But again, I follow my management plan. Do you remember my management plan, Michael? But again, like with UK 100, if we break these highs, I can almost assume that price will pull back. Hopefully, it could just take off. But once we pull back again, we could have the same situation as yesterday, which sucks. What's US 100? Is it YM? US 100, like US 30. US 30 is YM. But again, if we do end up seeing the break of highs, I will enter 50% of this new bullish internal leg, which again, just like yesterday, it could continue tanking down for a deeper pullback. But again, if that's the case, I'm fine taking that loss. Again, it's still the beginning of the month. We had 2 losses yesterday. And even if we take 2 more losses today or another loss, or it is what it is, because again, like we have really good quality setups where if we win both of these, we're up for the week. What trade are we taking on Legacy? So Legacy, I will be looking for NASDAQ. Nothing that's confirmed as of yet. Well, actually, it's kind of confirming itself right now. So we are breaking these lows now, which I'd like to see. So if we do see some type of pullback within this leg, I could see us shorting here. But again, I need to see a very nice reaction at either equilibrium or the 71% or this order block. And again, what I mean by reaction, I mean I need to see price come into these areas, not close above it. I need to see price react off of it, meaning I need to see price hit it and have some type of very nice top wick that leads to some selling pressure that tells me sellers are trying to hold at this area to take prices lower. If that's the case, I will enter for a nice little 1 and 2. This might be her leg, I can't lie. So 1% aligns with the order block very well, so I like that. DAX at equilibrium. So again, we are set. Again, I just hope we don't get the same situation as we had yesterday, which we could. But again, if that's what happens, that's what happens. I'll take the loss for what it is. But nonetheless, again, just based off my system, this is my entry point. And if you guys do enter and you guys want a bigger stop, again, you could have your stop down here, but that's a 200-point stop. That's a massive fucking stop. Even where it's at right now is still a pretty big stop. I can't lie to you. I hate when Discord does this shit, man. It's so fucking annoying. Like, so fucking annoying. Literally tanking fucking views because people can't fucking hear me. Wow. That's actually like fucking bummy. Horrible. god, I hate when it does this fuck shit. Again, we'll see what happens. We are about to have open. I have limits set here, guys, so I'm going to pay attention to NAS, but nonetheless, it needs to have an open. If we get a reaction before open, I will not be entering. Hi, Nick. It's the first time I can't hear you on Discord. That sucks, but I can't see. But I can hear you. All right, fire. Glad you guys can hear me on YouTube again. Sorry for the mishap as far as like you can't hear me on Discord. That honestly sucks. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens here. Now that we've kind of blown through the equilibrium, my next reaction point will be the 71%, which at the same time is aligned with our equilibrium. I mean, with that order block, which is actually very nice. So we're seeing price kind of wick up here. We just missed that area. Kind of sucks. I'm hoping we do come up and hit it. Because again, I am very bearish here. If we don't hit it, I gotta wait. We literally barely missed it. I have to follow my rules, guys. Fucking hate this, guys. Like, it's actually like annoying. All right, we are coming higher on both, which is highly expected. Again, with UK 100, I need to see a break first of these highs, then we can play the pullback and look for higher prices from there on out. We're gonna sell here. Again, the reason I'm not entering, guys, just because I need to see a reaction off of a specific level. That's just my overall plan right now. But again, even if we do sell off here. Okay, where's my arrow? If we do end up selling off and creating a new leg, that's fine because we know we're overall bearish and we can play that new leg's pullback and we can still look for another setup within that area. Dude, why is there no sound? Like, everybody's fucking leaving. What the fuck is the deal? Hold on. 1 2 1 2. Better. 1 2. Hello. Hello. 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Alright, I'm hoping it's better. I think it's just so fucked. I know most of you guys can hear me, but god damn. Yeah, I know it's not my problem, but I just hate when Discord does that shit, man. Hate when fucking Discord does that shit. We may have to, like, I'm gonna talk to the team tomorrow and see if it's worth going to Zoom, or we'll have Zoom calls instead, just because, like, if we continue to have this problem, it kind of sucks because a lot of people just kind of hop out due to the fact that, again, like, they can't hear me. Right? If you can't hear me, it kind of sucks. But what time frame am I on? I'm on the 5 minute right now. On the 5 minute. As far as NASDAQ, I'm on the 1 minute, but DAX and UK 100, I'm on the 5 minute. Looking for the break of these highs here. We've been having horrible opens, guys. Horrible fucking opens. UK 100, again, waiting for the break of these highs. So, again, I'm not in anything yet, guys. We could come deeper within this pullback, which, again, that's fine. It will stretch out my stop loss, making it even bigger. But nonetheless, like, it will still be valid, being that, again, we are still within this bullish structure here. Unless we come down, break these lows, then again, I'm going to call it a no trade, at least for DAX. Same thing with UK 100. We can come lower. I mean, we're still within this internal bearish leg. That's why I really want to see the break of these highs and then a pullback before I even look for entry. NAS is coming lower. Again, this would have been such a fucking prime entry. Why did it have to fucking miss, guys? It fucking, of course, missed. If we had, that's actually fucking ridiculous. All right, so this is our new leg, guys. I swear, our moves that play out end up fucking barely missing, guys, and it kind of sucks dick, but it is what it is. Yeah, we tapped that gap. Could be just have a deeper pullback. That's why I'm waiting for the break of those highs nonetheless. But now as we are within this new bearish leg, I'm still comfortable selling here, guys, as long as we get a pullback into the equilibrium, see a nice little reaction, and see some, we could see lower prices from there. I would have entered here. Ooh. We would have still been in, yeah. That would have been a W fucking trade, can't lie. DAX is hella new. What do you mean? Fresh pair? What do you mean fresh pair? Coming lower. Again, that's why I wait for those certain specific confirmations. NAS, we're just ripping, guys. Again, NAS is biased. Like, I ultimately expect it to continue lower just because we are bearish within this leg here. Broke out, pulled back. We can ultimately expect these lows to be taken. I was just looking for that 1 minute internal structure to take price lower. Honestly, my fib was in the right area as far as breaking these lows. Like, we could have had the fib here, but ultimately, like, we hadn't broken any type of structure from like this 1 minute like fucking bullish leg until here. Therefore, like, the proper fib would have been from this high to this low due to the fact that this was a high that led to that final break of structure, this structural area. But again, now we're here. We could just continue dipping. Now, I think it goes farther back. It just depends on the subscription you have, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe, you might be right. No, it goes all the way back to 2009. We're getting a solid reaction at this order block here, but I'm not really concerned about that because our overall swing structure is bearish. So I can ultimately expect these lows to be taken. I don't know why. Probably because they don't really expect you to like do any back testing on trade lock or anything like that. Again, these setups are still valid, and I actually like that we came down deeper even though our stop is bigger. Yes, that sucks, but nonetheless, like, we are still valid within this area. Like, we could have taken entry of 71%. Stops beneath the lows. But ultimately, again, like, the reason I kind of want to wait for this confirmation is because price could have just kept selling off, and we would have taken a loss by impulsively entering. These sells would have been fucking amazing. These sells would have been absolutely fucking phenomenal, guys. We would have definitely hit our 1 to 2. Nonetheless, I still can't complain. Because again, it goes to show direction was correct, but we just barely missed our entry point, guys, which that's been happening a lot, guys. And trust me, everything that's happening, I'm keeping into account when it comes to my data. Just because, again, if you guys don't know, like, I've been trading NQ for a long time, but NQ during London has only been a short period of time. Therefore, I'm always looking to get, fresh data to ultimately, like, kind of decipher, like, is my approach still good? Which, again, my approach is solely based off data. But again, like, when it comes to like this entry here, where we missed our reaction point, where I play that reaction, we could find ourselves in the future entering at the 50% still, stops at the highs, looking for at least like a 1 to 1, and then potentially that 1 to 2, which again, in some cases we could get fucked over, but in a lot of cases, especially recently, we have been seeing a lot of situations where our winning trades are barely missing our reaction points and we're still seeing price go in our direction, which again, like I'm always big on the fact that if we're missing trades, if we're having trades that are running longer than what I held for, I'm always looking for, I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm always making observations on where I could have potentially done something different to been able to catch in on that trade or catch a bigger trade. Obviously that doesn't mean I'm going and switching things up day by day. No, that's not what I'm doing. But ultimately, again, like that data is going to tell me as we continue to trade NQ into the future during London specifically, is does my entry approach need to change just based off the fact that, again, we are seeing a lot of situations where my trades that are winning are barely missing our reaction points. Even the trades that do lose, like yesterday, the trade that lost, and this wouldn't have been a good example, but like the trade that lost, we hit 71%, reacted, came a little bit higher, but still nonetheless played lower, which again, like in this case, even if we would have entered at the 50%, stops at the highs, we would have never got the 101. So again, this is why data is so important, is because even in this case, we would have never got 101. We probably wouldn't have gone break even. It depends on how, I structure my management plan. But again, this is a good example of that situation. Obviously today something happened different where, like, let's say we did enter at the 50%. We would have definitely gotten our 1 or 2. Yeah, we would have definitely got our 1 or 2. So this is why data is so important, is because even though I didn't take this trade, I'm still going to put into a back testing session. Crew, they didn't get it to you. I'm going to be over with Luca tomorrow, so I'm going to make sure you'll get it tomorrow. I sent it over to them a couple times, but sometimes they get backed up and busy. You'll for sure get it tomorrow, don't worry. Because I'll be there with them. So I can watch them actually push it out to you. But again, like going back to my example, this is why data is so important, is because, again, we have two different examples of two different things that happen. Where if I would have entered that 50%, we would have still lost. If I would have entered the 50% today, we would have won. Yeah, I only use 10-point stops for NAS. And again, it has worked with us so far. There has been a couple losses, and then obviously a continuation in my direction. But nonetheless, a lot of times, like, price will just end up fully losing. Like, even if without a 10-point stop loss, we would have still lost. Or again, like situations where we're not even getting entry because we're missing our reaction points barely, and that's causing us to miss out on some winners. But again, like, guys, like, don't, like, nonetheless, like, I'm getting everything into account just to make sure that if this is something that continues to happen, we're on top of it, or at least I'm on top of it. Because again, like, you got to think about it from a stance like I'm here to make money too. Like, I'm not here to just stream and call trades. Like, no, I'm here to make money. I'm here to continuously improve. Even though I'm at a good point in my life, or a good point in my trading journey where I make money, I'm always looking for room for improvement, always looking for ways to do things better. With DAX and UK 100, like, there's really, like, I'm still getting data, but I have so much data with DAX and UK 100 that it's not like I'm looking to change something up. I'm always going to stick with the same entry plan, always going to stick with that. But being NQ during London is so fresh and so new, that's something that is definitely I don't want to say in need of a potential change, but could be, based off the data that I continuously get, could be something that we go and potentially switch later on. Again, but like the same approach will stay the same. Like everything as far as like the higher time frame bias and identifying that we are bearish within here and we're just looking for that 1 minute alignment. It'll just be where our entry type is a little bit different. Or again, I could have two different entry types. We ended up coming down, taking these lows, which we'll see how UK 100 continues to react. If we come down and wick these lows and come higher, I'll still wait for break these highs. But if we come down and like break up below these lows and then later break above this high, we could end up using this new structural high as a break of structure to then look for a potential buying opportunity. But if we just end up wicking these lows, it goes to show that we could have just come down to take some more liquidity. And then again, we'd still have to wait for that overall break of that actual structural high there. But still not in DAX, still not in UK100 still not in anything. Just kind of waiting at this point, guys, to see if one is DAX going to go higher. Still waiting for a break these highs though. NAS, if we come down and blow past this low, then at that point we could play some type of pullback entry. Because since this is my 5-minute low, we're not in position right now. We can't hear. But again, if we do end up breaking these lows, this means our 5-minute low is now broken. So technically our fib would be drawn from, from a 5-minute standpoint for that 5-minute pullback from the highs to the lows, and seeing, okay, are we going to get the pullback into 50%? But ultimately we could play some type of 1-minute pullback into that 50% if we do see some type of opportunity there. So we now came lower. We could come even lower, just based off, again, like the 15-minute came into equilibrium, but we never had the break of the structural highs, and that's why we could be coming lower to have a deeper pullback within, the 15-minute time frame before we take off. Where, I could enter at the 71%, and again, shoot for these highs for a nice little 1 or 2. But nonetheless, again, like this would also be playing it risky just due to the fact, we are bullish. We have very good alignment as far as continuously going bullish, but it's still risky because, again, like let's say price again has a different objective for the day and wants to just absolutely sell back off. That's where it's playing it risky because, again, we're not looking for any other confirmation. So but again, now that we broke this low here with the full body closure, if we come back up and break these highs, we could play this new bullish leg back up. U2 Azalea is also streaming in Discord. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to talk to people tomorrow, guys. There's so many people on YouTube live right now. I appreciate that, but just because, again, like this is bullshit. Like it's actually kind of fucking bullshit. Because if it's not just happening to me, it's happening to other people. Here, I'll send you the link. Hold on. What about NAS now? How's her chase at 50%? Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Thank you for telling me. Oh, my God. If we see a nice reaction off 50%, we could shoot for it, but I just don't like how... we'll see. We'll see how price reacts here. I'd ultimately like to see it come a little bit higher because we have this order block here, and we still have some imbalance. I'd like to see that. Because again, even if we react off the order block, that's still a nice area to react off of. I'm not going to take out 50%. Again, I need to see reaction. I'm not going to, just because I was talking about changing something doesn't mean I'm going to go and change something right now, guys. Again, like I'd rather continue to trade the way we've been trading with the NQ, which we haven't been doing bad, but again, we could be doing better. That's what I'm saying is like we could ultimately be doing better on NAS, and I'm aware of that. Again, like the data is showing that, but a lot of it is, a lot of missed trades where we would be up very nice if we had those reaction points at those specific levels. But again, like I can't make the market do what it wants, but I can ultimately use that data to eventually, come about, entering a different way or having a different entry model added to, our overall system with NQ. But we blew through the 50%. So again, I do have to wait for that tap at either the order block or 71%. And again, I don't just mean hitting it. I mean actually reacting off of it. But again, like we could ultimately close above the 50% and still just end up taking off here. So again, like if we have the same situation as we just did earlier where we missed this first trade, then, it will obviously add to the data as far as, okay, we had the same situation where we came to equilibrium, we sold off without having some type of reaction point. On YouTube, what's the link? I like how we're stuttering here. I just want to see the tap and the reaction off order block. But again, like we could just end up seeing price tank here. Again, like you guys can definitely enter if you guys want to. But again, like I need to follow my plan. I'm very big on that until obviously I have an overwhelmingly amount of data that tells me otherwise, which it looks like we are continuously selling off without having a reaction of any specific area. So again, that is ultimately probably going to add to our data. Rhythmic account, we don't have Rhythmic anymore. Do you mean DX trades? Again, not in DAX yet, guys. I need to see some confirmation here. If now just continues to sell off, obviously I can stick around and look for a... I know, Z. I know it did. And again, like Z, like this is a prime... This is why like I pushed you on, you know, getting data, because again, like when it comes to YouTube, like, I mean, when it comes to NQ, still has the same model as far as looking at overall like general higher time frames into lower time frames. It's just entries a little bit different due to the fact that it, you know, like with NQ, I've noticed that we will see these reaction points, and I typically like playing the reactions at these high volume hours. I do. But again, like I can ultimately go and, you know, switch things up, keeping everything the same other than the entry plan. Such a big fucking TP, I can't lie. Does funded have a consistent role of what's the percentage? It's 50% crew. 50% consistency. So we are coming back up. Again, we could still see that reaction of the order block, depending if we do end up coming that high. We'll see. We're looking horrible. We had some good volume at the open, but we're just kind of stuttering out here, guys. I mean, granted, there's no trades yet, but... But again, I'd say it would suck to see NASDAQ sell off again. But again, like nonetheless, if that happens, again, guys, I like instantly, like right after stream, I'm going to be going, we doing sells or buys. I'm selling... I don't know if you can hear me, CP to you. But nonetheless, again, like if we do end up selling off into these lows, at least hitting the 101 of where our entry would have been, that's instantly going to be, again, like something that I can go back, get into data. And again, it's not going to go in my live data, it's going to go in back tested data. But again, the reason I get back tested data just based off entries like this where we missed that first one because we barely missed a reaction. This one, it's not like we in a sense also did miss a reaction point here. That's definitely worth getting into that data. And again, if you guys are trading with me, like, you guys don't have to get data, but I'd always say, like, even when I would trade with other people, like early into my journey, I would still get data when I'd enter with them. I still would, just because, again, like, if I'm trading that and I'm slowly looking at the same entries that he's looking for, I also want to make sure that I'm learning myself, not just relying on him to learn and relay that information back to me. Like, that's what I'm doing right now. Is obviously, like, I'm seeing what NASDAQ is doing. I'm seeing the fact that within the last 2 weeks, we've missed probably a total of 4 solid wins due to the fact that we're barely missing our reaction points, but price is still running in our direction, which, again, it's a good thing that we are getting the directional bias correct, but it sucks that, we are missing out on these winning trades due to the, my entry model. But again, the entry model does work. We've seen countless wins up with it. We've seen some losses, but nonetheless, again, like, there's always room to kind of add things, change things up if necessary. Wow, we're looking shit now, guys. For a mixed opening as well, price resume climb. Okay, fire CP2U. Yeah, I'm looking for sells. But again, I need to see reaction point. We were looking for sells earlier over here, but just missed our reaction area where price we did end up selling off. How you see gold? Let's look at gold. We are kind of bearish right now, but I'm kind of anticipating some buys here. We've kind of been choppy, though. Can't lie to you. We've been a little bit choppy. Very choppy. But nonetheless, I would take buys, but only after confirmation. Like, I want to see some type of break of some type of high. I think we're going to sell off on NAS, guys. Nonetheless, if you guys entered, great. But again, like, I got to follow my rules. For DAX, again, I'm gonna have the same limits set. My limits are set at the break of these highs, but if price comes down and breaks these lows, then again, I'm gonna remove my limits. And if it doesn't end up entering me in before 2 a.m., which we still have an hour and a half, so I think we're good. But typically, like, what we've been seeing a lot is a slow open, which, again, we usually see very aggressive opens, and then we see, but recently it's been slower opens, and then we do see some volume stepping in around 1 a.m. Yeah, YouTube sucks for that. Like, YouTube does suck because there is a delay. Obviously, like, we really want you guys to be on Discord, but with all the problems that have been happening, I guess it's good that you guys are still able to hear me on YouTube, even though there is a delay. Hold on. Can I fix the latency? I can't fix the latency. That's my bad. I'm on normal latency. I don't think I can change it. That's probably also my fault too, with the latency issue. I didn't put on ultra low latency, so tomorrow I'll make sure that's on just in case we have the same bug. But again, going in the future, we may also just start going live on Zoom, where we'll just send you guys a Zoom link and stuff like that, just because of situations like this where half of the people can't hear me. NQ dumping, I know, Normings, fuck. But again, I can't be mad, guys. We'll see what happens. We'll get some data. Nonetheless, again, I'm already going to get data from that first trade. But, yeah, I'll try to up it. I don't know why it's low. It's all the way up. Here, hold on. says it's all the way up. Hold on. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix it tomorrow. Hold on. Audio. Yeah, it's all the way up on Discord. It's probably something I gotta fuck with in the settings. 5 lots NQ sell is good for 5,000 accounts. A lot of it just depends on your stop loss. Serious. Like, your stop loss can ultimately affect how much you win or lose. So if like you have, if your stop loss is only 10 points, 5 lots, what is that? That's relatively good. But if your stop loss 50 points and you're, risking 5 lots, you could lose a lot of that account, truly. So that's where I'd be careful. Looks like NAS is going to continue to sell off again. Like, the directional bias was correct, guys. It's just entries were a little bit scuffed today, as far as, the entry model that I am using. But again, like, it happens. Beautiful structure, though. Can't lie to you. Beautiful. But now this is our new leg. But nonetheless, now that we're breaking these lows, guys, I am not going to continue to sell within that bearish leg. Obviously, it can definitely still hit. But now that we're breaking these 5-minute lows here, what we could see, or as long as we close beneath those lows, what we could see is we could see price have a deeper pullback than what that 1-minute time frame calls for. So that's where I wouldn't no longer want to play the 1-minute leg. Watch us get entry though. But nonetheless, once again, if we would have taken out 50%, we would have at least been at 101. DAX's stop loss is lower. Gotcha. Thank you. Of course, serious. We could potentially take entry. Would be fucked is if we're now at our extreme low, which we haven't broken structure, and I do expect price to break structure. We'll see how this candle reacts. We are just fucking flipping. Could have taken liquidity and just could have ripped higher. That's where I would have wanted to take in these earlier sales, guys, just because, again, like, it is playing a bit riskier now due to the fact that, again, like, we just broke the 1-minute low on the 1-minute time frame here. So we can definitely still continue to sell with that overall bearish bias. But nonetheless, like, that sweep could have been a liquidity sweep to take prices higher. It really could have been. And that's where this trade could be playing it a bit riskier. But we'll see how price reacts to 1%. If we miss it again, guys, I'm out. If we fucking miss it again and we just tank, I'm out. But again, if that happens, I'm not going to be mad. It just tells us that, again, like, it's not that my entry model is invalid, because we have had our decent amount of wins using that reaction with volume. That's basically what it's, solely based around, is the understanding that we are reacting from these specific levels with volume. But again, the way these last 2 weeks have been is we've been seeing a lot of situations that we're missing out on due to the fact that, again, we are just missing our reaction points, but price is still falling in our general direction. Like this. No fucking way we do this shit again. Oh my fucking gosh. What a day. This could be 3 trades where we just missed a reaction point that we could have caught. 3 wins, nonetheless. Naz is like fucking kicking me in the fucking balls. That's what it's doing. Honestly, don't like that reaction. Like, I would have preferred to just see a sell off, just because, again, like what I'm seeing is price having this large bullish impulse. We're seeing price come down, rebalance, and if we see higher prices, what is kind of scary is the fact that price could just end up ripping. We could have just taken these lows, and we could now be looking to go higher to take opposing liquidity. That's where it kind of sucks. Was like that in the morning with mom, but yeah. I mean, there's days like that. Yeah, Joshua, the war can definitely be impacting the markets. I'm not there. It's obviously not crazy, but there's definitely still some differences, I could say, but nothing that I'm like really keeping track of or looking to get data on. Because we're still seeing good movement. Like today, phenomenal movement. Like we saw price react the way we wanted to react as far as the general bias, how price, sold off, came back up into, had a pullback and then continue within our direction. But it's just not hitting my points of entry where I prefer to enter in off of. Yeah, DAX and UK 100 have been something else, though. I can't lie to you. Like, it's something else. Like, we've just been seeing not as much volume. But again, like I said, what we've been seeing a lot of is we've been seeing a lot of price after 1 a.m. get that volume and start to move after 1 a.m. Did we tap it? Yeah. We could be taking sells right now, guys. I like that reaction. It would be a break of these lows. Again, this is playing a bit riskier, guys. But I'm willing to shoot here. Playing it a bit risky. But nonetheless, we're still bearish, so. But I'm fine taking the loss here just because, again, like we had 2 amazing trades play out before this. If this is the trade that is the losing trade, we know what's on. We know what's going on is, again, is potentially switching or at least adding a different entry model. But again, that is really just based off data. I'm not in yet, guys. I didn't get tapped in. Barely missed my entry. Thankfully missed my entry because we would have been stopped out instantly. I don't like this. All right, we're in. We're going to get taken out. I already know it. This is going to be a loss, guys. The reason I can say that is because we didn't create a top wick. I have a feeling we're going to come back, create a top wick, guys. I genuinely think this one's going to be lost. I can't lie to you. I'm like 99% guaranteed. And you're probably asking, why am I taking a trade that's going to be lost again? Like, it entered me in too fast. And nonetheless, like, it's still following my plan. But, like, just the fact that we didn't have a top wick, the likeliness of us coming back, creating that top wick, is so much higher than us continuously going bearish. I'm going to say right now. Just say right now. We can still win, just based off directional bias. But I do think we're going to get taken out right here and take a nice little loss. Nothing crazy, like, not a big loss. But, again, like, it's kind of sucks seeing that. I can't lie to you guys. Yeah, we're going to lose. Told you. All because of no top wick. Told you. We could still end up coming back down too. That's the shitty part. I mean, we could re-enter, but nonetheless, like, I almost don't want to. But I do think we're still going to sell off. I can't lie to you. Told you. I'm not going to re-enter, guys. I'm going to take the loss for what it is. If we end up selling off, then it just gives me really good data. But again, like, I can't really, like, I mean, I can re-enter, but literally that one fucking thing of having no top wick is what fucked us. I can't lie to you. I mean, we could see prices end up continuing higher, 100%. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, are we? Probably not. We're still bearish. We still know price has a lot of room to continue sell off. Oh, we're looking so horrible here too. I want to get entry here. Again, like, I'd prefer to get entry here. I could give less of a fuck about NAS, especially because we're going to still sell off. Told you. I know a lot of you guys are still in. Just, again, like, my stop loss is super short. Just because, again, I'm looking for those quick moves. One of those days, guys. I hate the fact that I told you guys we were going to lose and we lost, but I mean, I instantly knew it just based off how price reacted and sold off so quick. Didn't create that top wick. We did have a minor top wick, I guess. But we're going to end up hitting our original TPs. Can't lie to you. I'd say so. We're going to probably purge these lows here. Continue a little bit lower from there on out, unless price is now looking for some type of push higher after this liquidation. But I do think we will end up closing beneath these lows just based off overall direction. Again, I can't complain. Like, it's still been a good day, but other than the fact that, you know, we took this little loss. But just the data that I've gotten from today, honestly, like, I could care less. You know, I want to win. Who doesn't want to win? But again, like, same situation where if we would have entered at the 50%, where again, like, I'm not saying like I wanted to, but, you know, if there's enough data, if price still sells off, you know, we could at least be getting these 101s where we could then go to break even, let it run to 102. If that's the case, you know, we could have done it potentially 3 times today. But again, like, in this situation where we had here now it was pullback, yeah, we'd have still been in this trade too. Oh, we look horrible here, guys. See you tomorrow, Jay. Again, today's kind of been, I can't even say today's been crappy. We had a very good opportunity today. Obviously, the trade that we did take was the loss compared to the other ones that would have been wins. Even this one, like, I think we just got taken out premature, barely, and the price is going to end up ripping down. I truly say that, without a doubt. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I really think that's going to be the case here. But again, like, starting, I don't want to say next week, but like sometime this month, if I go back, like, the amount of data that I have where price has come into equilibrium and continuously sold off, didn't give us a reaction, still won, is pretty overwhelming. Yeah, Joshua, I could have my stop there, truly. But the way my entry model is right now is I primarily play reactions. So since we had a reaction off of the 71%, like, obviously, yes, like, I could have my stop here. But just because of the data that I have, typically when we have those reactions, especially at a high volume hour, we just end up reacting and ripping. Where, therefore, if I would have had a bigger stop, we would have had to have had a bigger TP to reach that 102, which, again, in some cases, it's fine. In some cases, it's not. But again, like, my stop is only 10 points just because I am catching those real quick moves to, you know, a 20-point move. which again, in this case, we would have had TP hit. But again, like we barely got taken out right before the move down. So it is what it is. But again, if you guys did have your stops here, you guys are still definitely in, still definitely made some profits, which again, if you guys won, I could care less. But, you know, nonetheless, like I'm still very much looking to get as much data as possible coming out of NQ. And then as far as DAX and UK 100, guys, I'm still waiting here. We're seeing a lot of chop here, but I still obviously have my limit set for DAX. As long as we come and break these highs before 2 a.m., I'm still going to enter. UK 100, again, what I need to see is I first need to see a break of these highs and a pullback before I enter, just because, again, like I want to see that confirmation as far as we are now bullish. NASDAQ, again, I'm not going to re-enter anything, guys. Honestly, we had our potential entry up here, just missed our entry point, just missed our entry point here as well. Had our entry here, but as you guys can see, we just got wicked out and price continued into our TPs. Can't do much about that, truly, other than continuously get data, right? Especially for NQ, guys, something that I only been trading for about a month, maybe 2 at this point. Again, like I'm always looking for room for data, but nonetheless, it is what it is. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 11:45 p.m. PST. If you guys want an instant account, you guys can always DM me for an instant funded account. Again, a lot of people are buying them right now, so you guys want to get on that train before it's too late. I don't know if we're ever going to take them away. We might. Who knows? But nonetheless, again, you guys want to get on that. Now you can always DM me on Discord, DM me on Instagram. Again, today has been one of those days for NQ where we had some opportunity. It is what it is. But, you know, I can't be mad about that. So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, if you guys are on my personal Discord, I'm still looking for entry on DAX and UK 100. So I will be keeping you guys up to date in my personal Discord as far as, you know, if I do end up entering, if I don't end up entering, and everything along those lines. But honestly, can't complain about today. It is what it is. We still hit TPs, other than the fact I got barely taken out. But it is what it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That being said, you guys are awesome. See you then. Thank you, YouTube. I'm out of here as well. Appreciate you guys. I'm sorry for the Discord bugs. It is what it is. I really can't do anything about it. I'll be back tomorrow again for some more NQ trading, for some more UK 100 and DAX trading. Again, like I said, in my personal Discord, I'll still be trading for a little bit as long as I do get entries. But we'll see. So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.